Thank you. We'll call this meeting to order. All four of the selectmen are here this evening. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amendments to the agenda. I am going to add 6G under the consent agenda, second BYOB permit. Are there any other amendments to the agenda? Okay. Public comment. Any public comment this evening? If you're here for the candidate forum, we have another item for that. Okay, seeing none. Consent agenda.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. And if we can sign
That
this
one. I put you guys in order.
Done.
All right, and next up is the candidate forum.
That's it.
If you're here for that, I'll ask that each one come up to the chair here to the mic so that you can be heard on the video. And whoever wants to start is more than willing.
In the front row.
Not everybody run out there at once.
We live. Was it two?
No, there's just one right now. You can sign the other one later.
Yes, we are, and you probably will have to get used to it if you want to be on the board, right?
Oh, I'm used to it.
Yeah, oh, that's true, in the planning board, yeah.
Can't forget. I'm Todd Bollier. I'm running for a 3-year selectman term. I've lived in town since 1969. That's 48 years, if I count right. I've been here in town building houses since I could swing a hammer with my father. I've been married, my wife Leisha, in 1984, and we settled here in town, raised 2 children, and they currently live in town, would like to stay here. We all love this town. I think I'm pretty fiscally conservative, and I'm a little worried about where my taxes are going these days. I've looked up, and since '07, my own taxes have gone up by 2. So I know a lot of older people that are really struggling to make ends meet, and with the increases we're looking at with the school, that's where I stand on the conservative side. We need to put the brakes on somewhere. I've been on the planning board since 2003. I've been the chairman for 3 or 4 years now. And I'd just like to continue serving the town as a selectman. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin?
No.
Oh, I'm calling me up?
We'll have to, because nobody wants to jump.
Like, the record to show I'm good at following directions. So my name is Kevin Netto, and I too am running for one of the 3-year seats on the Board of Selectmen. I haven't been in town 48 years, so there's probably a lot more people out there that don't know me, so a little bit of background. I was born and raised in Maine. I'm a graduate of the University of Maine with a degree in business administration. For the last 20 years, I've been an employee at LL Bean, working primarily in product development for outdoor equipment products. I'm a very avid outdoorsman, hunter, fisherman, camper, skier, cycler, pretty much anything that goes on outside. I am married with 2 children, both of whom attend the Durham Community School. A lot of viewers may know my wife better than me. Her name is Ruth Dodge, and she's the speech-language pathologist at the community school. And we moved to Durham 18 years ago because we were looking for a small rural town where we could really be a part of the community and not just, lost in a sea of people. We were attracted to Durham by the size of the community, the good schools, and its proximity to a lot of major employment centers. You can live here, and you have a lot of options for where you can find work. I've been always been interested in town affairs and been involved in a lot of different things over the years. I've never missed a town meeting since I moved here. Some of the things I've done, I've been a youth basketball and soccer coach with Durham Athletic Boosters. In 2012, I was chairman of an educational exploration committee appointed by the board to look at various school administrative structures. I'm currently treasurer of Cub Scout Pack 145, current member of the budget committee here in town since 2013, and current chairman of the comprehensive planning committee. So definitely have an interest in the town and seeing it do very well. So some of the issues as to why I'm running, my work on the comprehensive planning committee has really opened my eyes to a lot of the growth pressures that Durham is going to face over the next few years. And I think it's really important that not only that we have a good comprehensive plan that kind of lays out what the vision for the town is on how we manage that growth and preserve what we love about the town, but that's just the first step. The real work comes in the implementation of the plan, and that's really the responsibility of the board and the other town committees. So I'd like to be a part of that work going forward. I hear people's comments about taxes, and I share some of the same concerns, and so I tend to be fiscally conservative as well, but I am also someone who would say that I avoid situations where we're penny wise and pound foolish, and I think our road situation is probably a good example of that. If we had a more regular long-term program for investment in our roads, if we had that over the last 10 or 15 years, we might not be in the situation we are now and may not be faced with the investment we're going to have to make to bring them up to standards here. So I believe in spending frugally to avoid bigger expenditures down the road. I also think the town ought to consider changes to the budget year and how we structure that. I mean, currently we vote in April for a budget that began in January that we don't collect any money to support until August. And I think that makes it really tough to manage the finances of the town efficiently. So those are just some examples of things I would like to look at and explore if I were to be elected. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Stewart, since all the three-year positions.
Jump over here. Everybody else jumped over there, I was up in here too, get in the seat. Mike Stewart, everybody knows me pretty much. I'm a selectman already. I'm rerunning for another 3-year term. Everybody that knows me knows I'm very voice. I say what I mean on my mind right there, which sometimes gets me in a lot of trouble, but I'm not a bobblehead. I don't say yes to everything. It's a hard balance now that I've been on the board to the taxes. To balance out the taxes and what we got for departments is a real hard thing to do. We can't make everybody happy all the time, and we can't make every taxpayer happy all the time. But I'm excited about we got some new members coming, so regardless whether I'm here or not, we're gonna have some new faces, some new ideas, and I can't wait to work with them if I'm here again. If not, then I'll probably still come to the meetings and voice my opinion. I don't want you guys getting used to me not being here. Anyways, that's my pitch, and let's have fun. Thank you.
Are you running for selectman as
No, I
well?
can heckle.
The 1-year seat,
Okay,
yes.
well, let's go ahead and take you so
Okay.
that way we get all the selectmen all at once.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Rich George. I've been a resident in Durham with my wife since 2003. My reasoning for running is strictly just to be involved with the town. I think I have some skills that I use in my everyday practice and business that I think fit this particular position well. I don't necessarily have a bias in terms of the political agendas of the town, other than the fact of being open to everybody's opinion. older folks, younger folks, new Durham folks, the older Durham folks, and weighing the options so it suits everybody. I think this town's great. I love this town. My wife loves this town. Our 2 kids, we raise them here. We can't imagine living anywhere else, to be honest with you. And, you know, going forward, you know, I feel we could be an asset. And we would welcome the opportunity and the challenge to be able to participate. So,
Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, I forgot to mention, I've been here 32 years. Todd built my house, one of mine. I had 2 houses.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Galetta. I've lived in Durham for 19 years. I grew up in Brunswick, and my husband and I, after college, decided to come back and live in the area, and we built a house here in Durham and have loved it. I have 3 children that are in the school system. One of them is still at DCS, a 7th grader. I have 2 in the high school, one who's graduating this year. So I have watched the entire K-12, you know, in this school system, and I've been around and with all the RSU 5, everything that's gone on with that. I have a bachelor's degree in English from Keene State. I started my career in the public school system, teaching in Brunswick, and then I switched to adult education. I currently work at the Cumberland County Jail as a teacher and a librarian there. So that's kind of a different perspective on education. I've been involved with the school since day one. I volunteered. I've been involved in the PTA, and I have a real love for the school system here in Durham, and that has been carried over to the whole RSU 5. I'm a huge supporter of the RSU. I have been since day one. Both of my children that go to the high school have had a really good experience, and I think that my agenda, I guess, for wanting to run is just to keep that going. I think that I'd like to be a positive person on the board of directors for RSU 5 and keep things going in the direction that they seem to be going in, which is a really good direction. I spoke to Michelle Richardson for quite some time about being on the board, so I think I have a good understanding about what it involves. And now that my kids are at an age where I'm not, I don't have as much going on with them, I'd like to put my effort into something else, and this is kind of the direction I think is good for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming today. I don't know, I was wondering, is it possible whether Alden or Shannon can actually cut this portion out and create just a candidates forum portion that we can have a link on our website to? I don't know if it's possible.
I don't know.
But
But I can find
if they can, that would be really nice. Thank you.
And the other candidates were
Didn't show
unable to
up.
make it.
Everyone was invited, correct?
As far as I know, Shannon was.
All right, next up, act on waiving building permit fees for Parker Morse. And this was with the house fire and so on. And I think this has been past practice. It was actually brought to us several weeks ago, but there's no record of us actually voting on it, so.
I think the only part we can't waive is the state plumbing fee portion, but I would move that we waive the town portion that we do have the authority to waive.
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Spirit of America Award.
Well, nobody's really come up with any ideas on the Spirit of America Award, and so the 3 of us had been sitting in the office, and we were thinking maybe Gary Wood would be a good candidate for his service to the town, in that he's been the moderator for town meeting for I don't even know how many years and has never charged a cent.
I think it's over 30.
Over 30 years. Yeah.
He took over sometime, I think, in the early 80s, and
Yeah, and he's also on the appeals board, and he doesn't get paid for that either, so, even though he doesn't live in town, he's still doing that. Yeah, I haven't had any other suggestions, so that's where we were going with it.
Anybody want to make a motion?
Go ahead.
Okay, I will make a motion that we name Gary Wood as our Spirit of America Award this year for his service to the town as town moderator for over 30 years, and also on the his service on the appeals board, and many other items as well.
I'll second that.
Discussion. All in favor? Motion carries. Can you make sure that he'll, so that
He's
we
gonna
can-
be at town
he
meeting.
will be at town meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do a presentation then. And I believe, just for your, because you're gonna probably be doing things, we've got that, we've also got a scholarship award winner, I believe, that
And she
will be
is coming.
presented.
Yeah.
Okay. I will have to sit down with you beforehand and make sure I have all the names pronounced right.
I make no promises. I have to do that too.
Gary Wood. All right, next up is discuss open CEO position. We do have an email chain
I
from,
wasn't, yeah, but I was not
See
able
that,
to
I
get
don't know
in
that
touch
that's
with-
something that we can,
not at that,
at the rate that was proposed for that fill-in
So-
position. I know we have talked a little bit, and I don't know kind of where those discussions are as far as eventually transitioning that into a joint position.
Well,
Ruth,
go ahead.
oh, yeah.
I was thinking, we need to do something because Kelvin has a lot on his plate with what we got going down in Pownell till June, so.
So Ruth had actually talked, reaching out there to at least one other codes officer in the area, and also putting something out, is seeing if there's a listserv for codes officers, like maybe there's a retired codes officer that wouldn't mind coming in on an interim basis and things like that, because with the changes with Pownell, I don't think we want to look as a full-time replacement until we look at our other options.
Like, but, you know,
But
but,
at the same time, it's building season is gonna
Yes.
start gearing up, it's spring,
for-
and we wanna make sure that people that are building in the community have access to.
right,
Would,
a couple $100 a week for, make sure someone's here is, to me, is.
would you
reasonable.
like to have a special meeting if Ruth reaches out and gets,
Well, you're gonna have Ruth reach out and see what, because this is only a couple $100 a week, I mean, to make sure someone's here for our taxpayers, I mean, to me is, and plus that involves mileage for inspections and everything. I mean, to me, that's pretty reasonable to make sure that someone's here for 4 hours a week to make sure that our taxpayers have someone to come and talk to.
Well, I kind of agree with Sarah because of some of the issues we've already talked about with hourly pay and stuff. We're kind of pushing our luck with that. And my only other concern, and I voiced it before, was what I don't want to see happen is have someone come in that's not MUBEC certified, and we start putting out permits, and then when we get somebody that comes back in and they start looking at, finishing up the inspection, we have a issue back and forth. So I'd rather see some kind of consistency. I know we're kind of looking for somebody temporarily, maybe for 3 months, maybe 4 months, less or more, but,
I just want someone here for the taxpayers.
yeah, I agree, but I'm not so sure.
Give them a piece of paper through the window ain't really what I want. I want
No.
some one-on-one with the code enforcement officer, like we used to have been with Feeney,
Absolutely, and
No.
I think, it's something that will, when we have no idea, it's easy for you to say this is just gonna be a couple $100 a week. We don't, we know what his hourly rate is, but we don't have any idea how much time that's gonna.
No, it says it right here.
Well,
That's office hours, but then he's
No.
talking about additional time
Well,
for
the inspections are
and whatnot.
included in that time. You ain't charging for the inspections.
Well, it looks to me like it's
I mean,
at least 2 hours on a Friday, and Wednesdays and Thursday evenings, it could be,
They can take
and
2 hours.
inspections in between. It could be 4 hours, it could be 10 or 15 hours. It all depends, so.
Yeah. I mean, but the 50, 60 an hour, which would include my time is mileage and inspection, so that's, you know what I mean? I don't know, I just want someone here Paul left and we need someone to
Right,
to
I
kick
guess
in.
I think I read this differently than you do. It does, sounds to me that it's 50 to 60
I'm
dollars an hour,
looking at 800 a month, and I don't know
including
what you
his,
guys are
his
looking at.
time for, his office hour time, and he would also be billing that for his time for inspections.
Because I spoke
Which
with
is
him,
fine, but we just need to figure out what those numbers look like and what we have in our budget.
because I spoke with him, and he said, this is the same thing he charges Bowden, and Bowden's 10,000 a year,
Absolutely.
which is 800 a month.
If I could just want to be sure that you understand that nobody's waiting for code work. I've been responding to everybody out there, and we've responded to all, and there's a lot of other work besides just inspections. You've got appeals, you've got, and I think Mark experienced some of the, Mark and Jeff both, one of the dealings they had today with somebody coming in, the land use ordinance had changed. There's a lot more to it than just inspections, and there's a lot of land use, legal stuff back and forth with attorneys, but
And I don't want to hang another hat on your head either.
Well,
I mean,
I mean,
you
how-
got,
right,
we
and
got
how is-
Pownell, you got Durham, you got spring coming, you got roads to do, we got ditches.
How is your time going, Calvin?
Been keeping up with it pretty well. I think, you know, you're gonna pick up after mud season, it'll pick up a lot more, but right now, it's been trying to get trucks to job sites that I've been having to issue waivers early mornings, but those are probably gonna run out this week, and then you're gonna be at a standstill for a while with excavation.
So, question to Ruth too is, because you mentioned in your email anyway, that this is putting a bit of a burden on the office.
It is, Calvin and I sat down with Donna actually on Monday, and we went over some of the paperwork involved. And then I'm going to also have Calvin sit down and talk with myself and Pam regarding what he wants us to do as far as the permits are concerned. And I think we're getting to somewhere. We're working on reorganizing the files, and we're starting to get a bit of a thing going.
But I do agree with
System.
Mike in terms of, I don't know how much, and that kind of defers to you, Calvin, as to how much availability you have with your other responsibilities in terms of being able to sit down with permit applicants and address questions or concerns that they may have.
Well, I mean, he has the Fridays too, because he doesn't,
If it got to be too much, I would let you know, but, I mean, I've got evenings, I've got,
Oh, because you have Fridays because we have, because
Yeah.
you guys have moved to the 410s
Yeah.
in Public Works.
so, I mean, I've been keeping up with it.
so he does spend actually quite a bit of time on Fridays here.
I had 12 hours last Friday. Well, I was getting out of budget time, but
Well, for me, it's like I said, I mean, I know what we was offering, I know what he's asking. I'm not really comfortable with that, and I am more comfortable with somebody, if Calvin can keep up. I mean, I don't want to, I know you got budget coming up for Pownell, so you gotta be working on that.
pretty much finished that yesterday.
And then, like Mike says, we got stuff that once, I mean, I know it's probably gonna be another month before everything really starts to open up, but for me, it's a consistency is what I'm kinda looking for. I don't wanna end up having, 'cause we did have that when we went from where we was to Paul coming in, and there was a lot of hiccups and going backwards and frontwards, and I don't really wanna do that again, so. And I think with this, with what we was offering, I think that's, for me, that's kind of too far out.
And I gotta put something out there, because the cost, the price that he's putting out there is one of the things, but even if he came in at what I would consider more reasonable, I'd have a hard time with this one, only because of appearances, where this was initiated by you, Mike, and he's your boss. The whole process was initiated by you. I have an issue with that, just because even if there's nothing wrong, the appearance, it looks bad. And if somebody came back
Let's
and
put, you
asked
know, like I
us,
said, let's reach out to other code enforcement, see what they'll charge, you know, I mean, I have no problem with that.
and I'd be willing to call a meeting if we get something this week. Call a meeting early next week to discuss it, to try to, because I would like to see if we can alleviate some of the issues.
Well, and
In the
you know, I
office.
guess to the extent that, you know, we are looking at most likely the joint road commissioner position coming to an end in June, that Pownell does not intend to move forward with that. we have Calvin, he is certified, he's a MUBEC licensed inspector. We're gonna need to figure out how to absorb moving him from a part-time road commissioner to some other kind of position, and so if we could keep some consistency to the extent that he's got the time, my vote would be to keep it in-house for right now until such time as Calvin says that it's getting to be.
Review it at the next meeting and see how things are going.
That's kind of what we've been doing for the last month and a half, and I'm just concerned that the office is saying that it's becoming a burden, and we're looking at another 3 months of this, and
I think the burden was that the filing system is just so archaic, and so it was just, there was stuff over here, there's stuff over here. There might be 3 files for the same map and lot, and one's over here, one's in there, one's, it was just.
I mean, I came in the other day, and Ruth was on the computer with building permit stuff. I'm like, I don't want to sit her time up doing the code enforcement officer that he should be doing to begin with, but he's too busy, because he needs help from you to do it, because we need someone else come in and do it, help, you know, I mean.
But it wouldn't make any difference because I'd still be doing that.
I mean, we've managed.
Because somebody has to have the organization to be able to know where all the permits are and whether they've been.
So you did that for Paul?
No, I didn't do that for Paul.
So,
And
that's what I'm
when-
trying to say. We
But
need
she
someone-
would be doing that for any part-time
Right.
person that just came in a couple hours a week,
Yeah,
so that
there's
piece wouldn't change.
Yeah.
So we're developing a system and getting some normalcy in place, but, you know, where I came from, the permits were all there, that's what we're trying to structure, so all the permits are there. The ladies in the office would hand them the permits, they'd fill them out, collect the fee, and then I'd put them in my box, and then when I came in, I'd go over them, and then I'd call them, and if there was any inconsistencies, we'd go over it, or if I needed, if they wanted to meet with me ahead of time, they could just call, they just give them my cell phone number. and they can-
Well, and at one point, we even talked about having the forms, ideally, as the new website comes up and gets developed, that all of the applicant forms would be available on the website, and
They
people could just.
actually are.
Okay, and
I
so
don't
people can.
know how that works with people out there. Todd, how's that work? Getting forms, I mean, you must get permits.
That'd be awesome.
Well, they are available on the website.
Yeah.
And some people
You
don't
know?
want any part of that, but that's okay, I mean.
Oh,
for people, builders and people that do this every day, that would be great.
Be able to.
For a homeowner that's trying to fill it out themselves, it's a convoluted form right now.
So a lot of it's just NA, it's not applicable. You can just
And it's
verify it.
adjustment on our part too, because Paul was very, he did everything, and he wouldn't let us do anything. We weren't allowed to hand out even permits without his knowledge. So I think it may be a learning curve for us too, because.
We went from a very hands-off system to a very hands-on system, and now we're trying to find a happy medium.
The normal way of doing it in most places is you go in, you get the applications, whether the code officer's there or not, you fill them out, you bring them back, pay the fee, and you leave them with an assistant or with some administrator. The code officer looks at it and comes in.
Does that sound logical, Todd, to you?
it does.
I guess probably part of the issue is they have the questions up front and they're asking you guys, and you guys don't have those answers.
Yeah, I
You
can't-
shouldn't necessarily,
Then you
so
just
I,
give my number.
Yeah.
right, I was gonna
Right.
say, in that case, if if that's what's happening,
Or I give them the land use ordinance.
And we have.
just have them call them directly.
That could be misinterpreted.
Well, and to the extent, at least right now, that Public Works is on 4/10s, and so Calvin does have Fridays available, I think that making some Friday just office hours, so that people that do have questions or homeowners that are walking through the form can come in and know that there will be somebody here on Fridays, or one evening a week and a Friday, or whatever it is, and get some hands-on. You know, I think there's a middle ground that we can come up with.
I'd have to say, having the office people, anybody other than the code enforcement officer answering questions,
That would be,
is tough.
Oh, yeah.
No.
It happened before.
get the wrong answer.
You want one person.
Right.
giving them answers.
The questions should definitely not be answered at the staff level, because,
And a lot of
He said stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Other than, can I have the form? That's
Right.
the only question.
planning board questions should come to the code officer first, and if he thinks it's pertinent, run it through the whole form system and onto the planning board.
Sounds good.
So basically, you guys, if you can hand him the forms, if his number's not on it, write his number on it for him, any questions, they just have to call him. So
Actually,
that,
that's a good way to do it. We should put
Yeah.
your number on the forms.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
give them a card.
Home phone too, put both of them on there.
That's what I had on my last job. Remember that permit we talked about?
It's GPS locator and.
Just put in a chip.
Wife cell.
And I agree, maybe we should put out some feelers still, but maybe we can, I know we kind of been reviewing it every couple of weeks to see how it's going, but I like the consistency better. I don't want to go backwards where we was before, so
And
I guess in the
my
event that-
thought was even if we do have to add somebody in to give some more hours, that we'd add them as like an assistant.
Yeah.
And an interim assistant, so that, for now, Calvin would still be the codes
Acting
and the
codes
acting, the codes, but this person would be an assistant that could help fill in if there were gaps.
in bigger towns where they have, in some cases, 2 and 3 of each inspectors because of they have different quadrants or sections that they're responsible for, I think that's different. But in a town like this where we only have one inspector does it all, when you get too many involved, sometimes interpretation can kind of get people messed up. Not on purpose, it's just
We found
more
that
for the
out.
homeowner that they don't quite understand all the.
We found that out last year when we had to have somebody fill in,
Yeah.
and their interpretations were completely different.
Are the lion's share of permits issued to contractors, or do homeowners get them themselves? Or is it mixed?
I haven't had a chance to, I mean, right now, most of what's going on is contractors, a lot of new houses.
Yep.
It's about 50/50.
Typically, I would think new housing would be contractors, and maybe making modifications might be the homeowner more often, but.
Contractors are the easy ones. It's the do-it-yourselfer. I just looked at one yesterday. I thought, oh, God. I don't know where to begin here.
Well, that permit, I mean, I filled them up in the past when I was doing that for people, and
I am not.
that permit, and there's a lot there that doesn't apply, as you said.
You know, it definitely, and especially when you look at it, and there's nothing saying that you can fill in NA here and so on, and
Most of you could just write NA in a lot of
they're
them.
asking for sketches of the property and this and that, and to go measure all the setbacks and,
When you're remodeling a bathroom.
yeah, exactly.
Or they start looking at live load, dead load, and they want to know what the span is, and, yeah, that really kind of messes them up. I agree.
So, yeah, just put the number on there.
So if you can put out some more feelers, and just see if there's anything.
I'll
And
let you know if I get any
and-
good hits.
please let us know if this becomes more of a burden to the office, more of a burden to you, Calvin. We don't want this to get out of hand.
We need to kind of go as smooth as we can, at least through up until June here. Well, even after that, we want it to be smooth, but
Right.
in this interim,
Okay. Departments and committees, fire chief, he asked to be excused. There was only one item that he wanted to mention, and that was that they had elections of the deputies, and the 2 deputies that were in place were re-elected. So Lisa Groves and Keith Russell have been re-elected to their respective deputy position.
I just want to make sure reiterate that we're going to have Engine 22 at a town meeting out front there. Make sure he knows that.
Can you make sure we,
I want the voters to see what they're voting on.
yeah, I think that he said there wouldn't
I
be
think
no
he's-
reason why he
yeah.
couldn't.
Just reiterate that we
Just-
talked about that.
Just make sure, yeah. Okay. Anything else that we need to pass on to the chief? Okay. Road commissioner / CEO?
It was unfortunate that we didn't have more people at the information session about the
Outside
The
the
proposed
fire
staffing.
department. There were
Yeah.
It
about
was
3
mostly
people.
fire department, yeah.
That was half of them were there, yeah.
Which trees we kill?
So I have heard that people have been seeing the presentations online.
And I know a reporter from the forecast was
it?
there, but I've not seen any write-ups
Jill,
yet.
I'll give you one.
I'll give-
Stay seated.
He was going to hit us up.
You did kill a couple trees.
WB Mason loves him.
I only killed a couple of trees this
Okay, as long as it's on his budget.
So, Storm Stella hit pretty hard. The crew hit back with a heavy response. We kept up with the storm, but you plow, and then 15 minutes later, it didn't look like a truck had been through there all night with the wind blowing snow in. And but we kept up with it. We stayed at it. So the crew's been continued patching potholes. That's our March routine. So we've been chasing those for the last month, and noticed one today up on the Old Brunswick Road. that
Only
looks
one?
like- well, notice. Well, I say we noticed one. One of my guys came back and said he thinks it looks like somebody's dragging a
Darn
bomb.
it.
Dragging the bottom of the car there, so we're gonna go look at that tomorrow and see if we can add some reclaimed asphalt or something to try.
Yeah. Some people just don't know when to slow down anyways, like, I mean, we can't have the potholes, but there's one that goes by my house every day, the same car hits the same spot, and they don't seem to slow down, so I don't really have much sympathy for them.
If they're doing it every day, there's something wrong there. Man.
Yeah, if you ain't figured it out the second time, then just keep going.
So, been continuing work on the 2017 paving plan. I have that I'm gonna pass out to you guys. Prepared the bids for the RFP. That is, I've got 3 of them. I didn't want to print them all because I didn't want Mike to get mad at me. So I can pass these around. You can just look at them, and we'll put it out to bid once you guys look it over. It's joint with Durham and Pownell.
I saw it earlier. Are you asking for us to allow you to put it out tonight, today? Because I saw the date for returns was the 6th. So. Okay.
So my thought was to go out tomorrow. I went to Pownell last night. Pownell's all set. If you're
Give us a
all
lot of
set.
time to look at it. That's awesome.
Well, I just wanted to get that out there. I mean, I can change the date if I have to, so. I just want to get that out. The earlier you get them out, the better prices you get, so.
Right. And so this would be shim and overlay projects for the
Yep.
most part?
Yep, shim and overlay and chip seal. It'll be, well, most shim and chip seal, 1.5 inch of cold mix and chip seal surface. So,
Does anybody other than Allstate do the chip sealing?
it's gonna go out to bid. There are some that do it. It'll go out to bid, and we'll see who gives us, I mean, there's several people that do the cold mixing. There could be 2, and then I've allowed for an alternate in here if somebody wants to give us a price on PM wrap or hot mix. We can look at it. If somebody wants to give us an alternative method, we're open to look at that, and that's in there. So somebody might come to us and say, why don't you use this, and we're willing to do this for this much money, and then we'll consider those options and come back and make a decision. But it's just to get it out the door to bid.
And because I haven't seen the 3 of them that are over there, are those bids project specific or just really for product?
Oh, there, I can give you these. Actually, why don't I just pass these around? It lists the projects for Durham and Pownell.
Thank you.
That didn't work very good.
So this is what they'd be bidding on. And that's spelled out in here in the RFP. There are bid tabs for them to fill in for each road. Libby Road, Royal Road, Stackpole, Cedar Pond, Poland Range. They're all in here, so they can put their dollar amount in there. So I have, if you want, how you want to look at these, you want to pass them around, or send them over to Sarah. So I have 3 of them. I guess there was only 4 members. I guess I could have printed one more and gave you one, but.
I took a quick look at it beforehand.
So we'll continue to work with GP Cog to enact a new digital online cooperative purchasing program. We've been going back and forth with emails and trying to get that filled out, and for some reason it's coming back half the time and to one town and not the other, and so I'm still working on that with them. I know we put some money in there for road line painting for road center line, and so this is one of them that's got to go out by April 1st, which, once I get the new system up and running, we'll be in there for that.
Can I ask a quick question about the RFP? The RFP indicates that all the shim must be placed by July 14th, which is fine, I have no problem with. We don't commit taxes we aren't gonna have the money by July 14th to pay them potentially. So is that sort of an industry understood when you deal with municipalities, you may get paid a little later?
Actually, I hadn't given that any thought.
Yeah, we don't usually have a lot of cash until the end of July.
That's something we'll have to discuss with the,
Or
So if it's a
or is there
30-day
is there a
pay,
reason?
the reason is because you have to have a 30-day, it has to be in place 30 days before you chip seal it.
Okay.
So we did it last year, we did 30 days, and we did it on Auburn Powell Road in Stackpole.
Is it possible we could push that to the end of July? Because
They won't-
typically we try to commit near the end of June, if assuming that the school budget passes, and that would give us several weeks of tax money coming in. We would probably not have an issue if we did it at the end of July, but middle of July, especially if the school budget doesn't pass.
And it may be, if it's the same company and that's how they worked it last year and it was
yeah.
fine, then it may not be an issue.
I don't think
I
they
saw
would.
the date and
Yeah.
I know how our finance works
Yeah,
work. and-
yeah, it's interesting.
Speaks
Yeah,
to-
well, that speaks to what Kevin was talking about with not getting your tax money until after you've already spent it, so, yeah. So,
We've talked about that in the past, too.
yeah, so we will, I'll look into that tomorrow. Let me talk with, well, I mean, it does say in there, it's subject to approval at town meeting, but still, that's,
Right. So just maybe as it goes out, that people,
maybe I just, yeah, I don't know, let me,
And you did actually, right after that, you put in unless otherwise agreed upon by director and contractor. So,
Right,
So
yeah.
you did give some wiggle room in there. But
right, I just wonder how I could put that out to bid. I'm asking for it to be done by a certain date.
They can't get paid till the middle of
I'm wondering if I
August.
could just
as
add
long as
that.
they say, if their bill is net 30, it's fine.
Right, which should be.
It's pretty standard.
It's pretty standard for, so, I can't imagine it would be a problem, but we'll put it out there and I'll explain that to the bidders as they call in and as they contact me, I'll just explain it to them and either they'll put the bid in or they won't, or we'll put that in the actual bid. I'll have them put that in the bid.
I would guess most of these guys have dealt with a lot of towns in the past, so it's probably
know-
somewhat common for small towns.
They know a town, I mean, I can walk into any store and tell them I'm from a town and it's like your account's approved without even, they treat you completely different than they would a private contractor or. So I can't imagine anybody's gonna have a problem with it. So
No,
we'll
I
just-
wouldn't think so either, but it's still better to be upfront.
Yeah, I'll tell them as they come in that could be an issue, but my experience has been by the time they get it done and we actually get the bill, it's a couple
Probably
of weeks
60
later
days.
anyway.
yeah.
And then,
Also too, yeah.
then you got 30 days on that, so it wasn't a problem last year, whether that was just due to my, ignorance of not knowing any better. It's like, I think that came up one day, Ruth said something about, I don't know if we got any money now. What?
Well, I think if it's Allstate, then their local salesman will know that.
I said, we don't have money? Well, they're all working, so I hope we come up with, with a new one on me. So, yeah, I'll be a little more upfront with that this year. But it wasn't a problem, because like you say, by the time we got the bill, and, it all fell into place, so. Hope to hear from DEP regarding the stream crossing grants, but they've informed me that it'll be the first 2 weeks of April. So,
Is there a time on that, if you've been accepted? Is there a time limit in how long you have to perform the work?
I don't know. I don't recall.
Because I know you're concerned, because
If we could go to
it's
the
going to be
phone.
about half the project.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough
Right.
set aside right now for the other half. And I didn't know if we could delay it a year
Yep.
and have it on next year's warrant.
Don't know. What I was thinking is that maybe at town meeting, I just ask for it, and if we get the grant, we will
Right, because we'll
match it.
know
And
about
if
the
not,
grant. Well, no, we
and we won't know. But if we don't get it, that we just go ahead and replace it
So.
in kind with culverts.
So I do know they don't like, town meeting, they don't like surprises like this.
Okay.
if we could, if we had the sheet of paper in hand saying, hey, we did get this, then it would go over much better. But if we
Okay.
don't have that, we could, if we had to, call a special town meeting, because if we're
Right.
just appropriating it from the capital fund, and we don't have to raise taxes, we could have a special town meeting to do that if we needed to as well.
We have a culvert up on the Auburn Pownell Road that is relatively close to,
4 of them.
4 of them that are relatively close to failure, that we have applied for a grant that if we get, because it's the safe streams for wildlife, for fish, or I don't know. But we've applied for this grant, which will cover about half of it, but we don't know if we've gotten it. And it is located such that if it were to go, it would really be an issue, and it would be an issue of access for the fire trucks, and it would be an expensive repair.
What was the amount that you're looking, like 90, 100,000 or something close to that?
Yeah.
Is that down near Heel Drive
Yep,
on Powell Road?
yep. The bottoms of the culverts are gone, and they're just,
Is 4?
well, they keep, yeah, there's 2 separate crossings. The stream splits and goes
Yeah,
like
okay,
this, and so
yeah.
you've got 1 and 2, and the road keeps, we keep getting holes in the road. So we have to keep on putting more patch in there, and well, that material is going somewhere, so you keep looking down in there, and it's so it's going down in the culvert through the holes, and
Eventually that stream's gonna
So,
get blocked.
I'm thinking at this point, the best bet's gonna be is wait until we get it from
Yep.
them and call for a special town meeting, because if we don't have the paper in hand that says we got it,
Right.
it's not gonna go well on town floor, asking for an extra $100,000 out of the capital fund.
yep,
Is that something we're sharing with Powell?
nope,
No, it's all Durham, it's all in Durham.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Part of that's in Powell. The water's coming from Powell.
Can you just go down and stick a sign that says Pownell?
that's Pownell water right there. So, okay, and so Carl's been working with Scott, and I guess we'll discuss that later.
Yeah.
So that's what I've got. Any questions?
Any questions?
Are we all set with the RFP to go?
Actually, can I get a motion on that if somebody, just to let them put it out?
I make a motion that we have Calvin put out the RFP for the shim chip seal overlays. You want the price in there?
No, there's
Yeah,
no,
but there is no price.
there's
It's
no
just
price.
like-
We'll know what the price is.
I was looking at the wrong paper, I gave it back.
That's what they bid for.
Yeah,
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, anything from this codes side that you need? Let us know, because typically we have the codes enforcement officer. So.
Nope, that's something I need to talk with Todd about later, but so if we'll, nothing pressing at this time.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Administrator?
Yes. Well, I had an idea, and actually Calvin, I haven't spoken to Calvin about this, so this may be a surprise. April 22nd is Earth Day. And our last report that we got from the people who inspect the River Park said that the trails at River Park are overgrown. So I was hoping that the town might do an Earth Day at River Park where we get volunteers to come and work on the trails at River Park and help maybe even paint the benches. And the reason I mentioned Calvin is because I don't know if it's possible, but I was kind of hoping that we might be able to get a couple of the Public Works guys to help us out as well, especially with the equipment that they might have access to at the Public Works garage. Maybe instead of working on Thursday, coming in on Saturday and doing some work for us.
So the 22nd is a Saturday.
22nd is Saturday.
We spent 15 minutes at the panel meeting last night trying to figure out what Earth Day was. We're all looking at our iPhones. Said, well, if iPhone doesn't have it, it can't be.
It's a Saturday and it's Earth Day.
Sounds like a good idea, actually, if we could get people to
And
come out
maybe
to
the
volunteer. but-
conservation committee that I know technically exists because we reauthorize them every year, but
I don't know if I want
That
to,
may be something that they would like to get involved.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to tell the guys they're going to take their Thursday and make it into a Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
want to volunteer, have them volunteer, do that, not tell them they're going to do it. If my boss comes and told me, guess what, Mike, you're working Saturday, so Thursday.
Well, that could be an
Irritates me
option
a little
too.
bit right there.
But doesn't that happen to you for the Moxie Festival every year?
No, I volunteer for that. That's
So-
all overtime for me.
So you're saying, ask them to volunteer to come
If
in
anybody
that
would.
day and pay them, then you'd pay them that day and let them take a couple hours off during the week or something. Okay, so not telling them to come in, asking them to volunteer to come in, okay, I see what you mean.
And then still paying.
Is that something we can put on the website too, that this is gonna happen?
Absolutely.
I think we would want to
I
try
would,
to
I would put it out there
advertise
as much
this
as possible, yeah.
We're looking for volunteers.
It's April 22nd, and I was also thinking that the Comprehensive Plan Committee might want to have representatives there as well to discuss, environmental things with people who might show up.
I have something else.
Yeah, we can talk about it at our April meeting.
I
Yeah?
think the chair would be real good to be there.
I will be doing duty with the Cub Scouts at the Museum of Science that day. So.
We, that trail was cleaned up, 2 years ago or so
Land
by an
Trust came in
outside
and did-
entity, I thought.
The
The-
Androscoggin Land Trust came in and did some work, volunteers did some.
There is a group that comes in every year and does some work, but I think there may be more work to do. I'll go take a look, but
And I think that's one thing that we're going to need, somebody kind of have a plan of what needs to be done that day so when people show up, they can assign.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to have people running around not knowing what to do.
You wanna take your
With clippers
chainsaw?
and spray paint.
Well, give Ruth the chainsaw when she goes down, take a look, so she can make sure she sees it properly.
I've never used a chainsaw, thank you
Always
very much.
wanted to go down through here with a snowmobile.
Yeah.
I can manage that for you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
But something else just came up that I ought to discuss. I forgot to mention
Too
it.
late.
I had written, I thought it was only, but I have a meeting next week with Maine Department of Transportation regarding the Meadow Road. They want to meet to discuss the closing or barricading that end coming onto 125. I told them to bring with them all the legal aspects. I said, I need you to tell me if it's going to be a discontinuance, what the legal proceedings would be, or if you're just blocking the end within the DOT right-of-way, if that...
And that's totally up to us. That just gives us the option. I mean, that's totally up to us.
I said, then we can go to the select board and...
Because, I mean, we definitely, we're going to want to do some hearings on this and stuff like that, 'cause I understand the reasonings behind it and so on, but it's going to affect at least a few homeowners in that area and stuff, so we
Yeah.
definitely,
There would be a hearing, and they're aware of that, but they said they'd like to just sit down and discuss it. And
Because of the access, because of.
the intersection coming off of Meadow onto 125 is very blind.
Absolutely.
And there's been a number of accidents there, and so the one that had absolutely nothing to do with the Meadow Road intersection, the motorcycle death there, that was all on 125, had nothing to do with the intersection, but.
125 is a state road, I think it's probably the state's fault, they should fix it.
Well, they're talking about fixing it.
So that's how they
but-
want to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean that way, though.
now, their alternative is to redo that and spend a bunch of money, whereas if they could just barricade that end off and they come out the other way. So anyway, it's just...
Yeah, I mean, it's preliminary
Good
right now, but if they want to go down that path, we need to involve this.
Well, can we negotiate a deal with them that, yes, we will do it if they repave Meadow Road?
That end of Meadow Road's barely passable now.
Well, exactly. Meadow Road is one of the roads we get the most complaints about.
That is awful, that end is, not so good, so... But, so anyway, I mean, if your GPS tells you to go straight, I think if most people knew that going down Silver Road made more sense, but
I mean, yeah, you may say 15 seconds going the other way, but
it is...
It's been a
destroy your car.
That's been a,
It's been a major throw. I mean, I lived there 20 some odd years. I grew up on that corner. I built one of my houses on that corner. I mean, everybody goes on that road. You're trying to tell me you're gonna cut off Meadow Road, they're gonna get a lot of people in there kind of
oh
area.
yeah, that's,
It's up to the public to
Right.
decide. It's not our
Just
decision.
because the state wants to do it and make it easier for them, well.
And actually, Soper in 125 is quite a dangerous intersection too, so you're going to be adding more traffic to that intersection, so. It's another one of our more dangerous intersections.
And that's what DOT will provide all information, traffic count, and they'll, and then the public can make a decision.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm
from
good.
you? Okay.
That was my big idea for the day.
Okay, just note, there are regular selections meetings that will be held here at the Durham Town office Tuesday, April 4th, and Tuesday, April 18th at 6:30 PM. Elections for the Select Board, Budget Committee, and School Board will be held on Friday, March 31st, from 8 AM to 8 PM at the Durham Community School. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yep.
Okay. Absentee ballots are available for the March 31st election up until Monday, March 27th at 4:30 PM. When do they have to be turned in by?
By the close of elections on Election Day.
All right, so, I'm going, there we go. Town meeting will be held on April 1st at 9 AM. The town reports are available at the town office in the Get and Go. And I will actually put out there, an apology for me that I will be unable to be at the town meeting, due to, work constraints. They chose that weekend to do something major, so I didn't have a choice, but, any other announcements that we need? Okay.
You ought to add that the town warrant is actually online. You can download it right off the website.
That the what is?
The
town
warrant.
warrant.
Oh, the warrant, okay,
Town
yeah,
warrant.
so you can get the town warrant online,
You don't
Yep.
have to have it printed.
Right, and you
and
can
it's in
also-
your book, it's in the,
Yeah,
the,
And you
it's
can,
downloadable.
and you can also watch the information session on the trash and the
Yeah.
fire,
Well, hopefully,
post-fire stuff.
if I can make that work.
but the slides are available anyway.
Right.
Okay, I move that we go into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A, personnel matters, public works. Second. All in favor?
Give you a call, Tom.
Motion carries.